Hey there, Scorpio, and welcome back to Bon Echo Tarot. I am here with your February 2021 Astro and Tarot report. So if you haven't already, I would highly suggest that you check out my video on the global village. So that's the collective reading, and so that's the experience that everyone is going to be having generally. But for each individual sign, as in your video here, I'm focusing on what it specifically means to you, Scorpio. And, you know, before I go any further, I have Scorpio rising myself, and I'm a late Libra sun, but I've often identified more with Scorpio. And I want to say this in the most compassionate way that I can, is that Scorpio, if you're struggling, please reach out to people. If you, you know, part of taking care of yourself is also reaching out to other people in your life. These are really, really tricky times, and unfortunately, I have lost a couple of Scorpio friends in the last few months, and even though I wasn't ready to let go of their soul, I respect their soul's choice to leave this this experience. But it makes me really sad, because as someone who has been going through the archetypical Scorpio experience, I find that I've had to remind myself through the struggle that, you know, Scorpio often goes through these dynamics in their lives, and it's usually right on the edge of something really great, because you can't forget that your sign is about transformation. It may be death, the death card in the tarot, but it's transformation in the true sense of the word. You know, Scorpios can walk in the underworld and come back, you know, and also assist others in realizing that walking through that dark night of the soul is going to bring them to their greatest joy. Don't forget that these days, Scorpio. Hang in there. And if things are not looking the way that you want them to just yet, just hang in, because there's great things coming. I can see it in the astrology, and I can feel it in my bones. So if you're having a tough time connecting with that energy, reach out to someone close to you. I recommend an Aquarius, quite frankly, because Aquarius is the one who is just leading us into this new place. They're all lit up like a Christmas tree, like I said in my video. So find an Aquarius, and they're probably going to understand you better than anybody right now. Okay, so that's my little aside to Scorpio. Let's get into the astrology. So the first part of this astrological story for you is the stellium in Aquarius, which is what I like to call a planet party. So there's all of these planets hanging out in Aquarius for the month of February. It's crazy. Look at my other video and you'll see what I mean. For you, Scorpio, the stellium in Aqua is happening in your 4th house. So the focus is on your home and on your family, you know, but it's that 4th house, you know, cozy little space, you know, whatever means home to you is what is going to be the focus for the next 2 years, with varying degrees of intensity of the spotlight being focused on that area over the next 2 years. Saturn will be there for almost 2 years. Jupiter's going to be there for a year. Jupiter is all about expansion. Saturn is about contraction. So there's going to be a lot of contradiction in life experience, only to be expected right now. So along with all the other planets, we got Mercury, and it's retrograde pretty much the whole month of February. It goes direct on February 20th, but during the Mercury retrograde period in Aquarius, it's, again, in your 4th house. So you're going to be reflecting on past emotional issues surrounding your childhood, surrounding your family, and what home really means to you. It's a good time for healing. And that's what this whole cycle is going to be about for you. So the moon's going to be really light, but I'm going to save that for a little later as I focus on the tension points. So I'm skipping ahead to February 17th, which is when Saturn is square Uranus. Uranus is in Taurus and will be for another little while. And so what you've been noticing already is that in your closest relationships, you've either had the rug pulled out from underneath you, or you get a big giant surprise somewhere, curveballs coming at you, because that's what Uranus is all about. But again, Uranus is Aquarius's ruler. So hanging out with an Aquarius is going to take down the spook factor on all of this energy for you. So, the February 17th Saturn square Uranus is your 4th house square your 7th house of relationships. So it's your closest one-on-one partnerships that you may feel some sort of a shake-up in. And then the energy of Mars and Uranus in Taurus in your 7th house is going to bring tension between your desire to be alone and your desire to be in partnership. So you may find that plays itself out in your relationships. And if you don't have a relationship, you're likely not all that open to one right now. You're more focused on family. It's really about home and family as opposed to romantic relationships. So then now we get to the moon cycle. So just before all of this tension, the new moon is going to be in Aquarius, and this is where you're going to have a nice little respite where you have the opportunity to put your entire focus on home, your legacy, nesting, and to ponder along, the lines of your ancestors as well. Looking at the family patterns, taking from it, the best, and then putting into perspective all the rest of it. So then, once we get to the end of the month, February 27th, we have a full moon in Virgo. That's going to be in your 11th house of community and friendship. So during this particular full moon, you're going to realize that your true friends do not see failure in your growth markers. This new community that you're going to emerge into is truly a group of people who can see the clarity of your intention. A lot of the times Scorpios can get misunderstood, and Uranus hasn't really been helping that in terms of our relationship for the past 2 years. The Uranus cycle or transit is about 7 years long, so we've got another 5 years of this dynamic to go. So if that helps to put things into perspective for you. The kind of changes and examinations that you're doing right now are not going to happen overnight. It's a process. So, all right, Scorpio, what is in the cards for you for February 2021? Oh, a little bit of confusion. Seven of Cups. So confusion, maybe too many options, or, the dynamics of right now. I mean, I know for me, it's like, okay, well, maybe I'll do this. Well, maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll do this. But what if this? And is this going to work? And, so you're still kind of hammering it out. Mercury retrograde is a good time for that too. Your obstacle, is the Emperor. So there could be an Aries that's part of the scenario for you, or this could be that you just haven't quite stepped into your power yet. And, and really, if you don't know what decision to make, then you're not going to feel very empowered about taking a stand on something. Oh, yes. And we're working through issues of grief and sadness as your foundation. These times are not easy on any of us, Scorpio. You've got to be really kind to yourself. Oh. And in the recent past, we have the Death card. So if there has been someone in your life who's passed, my condolences to you. You know, or there could have been like the absolute ending to a set of circumstances. Could be related to all of these different relationship and family issues. All right, so at the top of your reading, we've got the Three of Pentacles. So you're working, and you're not working alone. You know, you've got a little team going. In your near future, well, look at that. See? Look at that. We go from death and transformation to the Ten of Cups. And that's often how that sort of thing, you know, can happen. Breakdowns lead to breakthroughs, you know? So let's look at you. Wow. Scorpio, you are at the top of your spiritual game. None greater. You may also be someone who people are coming to for advice right now as to how they can navigate the changes in your environment. You know, everybody's just waiting. You know, it's like waiting on the circumstances to change before you can actually make your next move. Are you afraid of your new beginning, Scorpio? Or maybe you're afraid that the new beginning isn't going to happen. There's something that you're passionate about, but you're not 100% sure, you know? Okay. Your outcome is the Four of Cups. So, you know, like with Libra's reading, it's about changing this focus from the grief of the past so that you can see the opportunities that the divine is waving in your face. Surrounding energies. Okay. So, the Hermit. So, you may be working very much on your own. I know that's true for me. This also could have something to do with a Virgo. There could be a Virgo somewhere in your story. But I'm getting the idea that, you know, all of this generally is about Scorpio's retreat from the world in order to find a deeper commitment or a deeper connection with the divine. You know, this is something that you've been seeking. But have you achieved it yet? I think so. So you've done the work. You know, you may not feel empowered yet, Scorpio, but I think it's coming. But it's a matter of, you know, not sweating the small stuff. Wow, this card is coming up in so many readings. The Fool. So you're about to take a leap of faith. You just don't know what direction you need to go in. There also could be an Aries around. You know, you got the Emperor card and the Fool card now. Aries energy, trust, and justice. So, whatever journey you're about to embark on is justice. There also could be a new contract that you could be entering into that emerges from all of these different offers. Oh, look at this. So, if this is an Aries individual or someone in authority, it's likely that this person really hasn't appreciated you. Because it works both ways, these cards, you know. You know, that there was a certain amount of apathy. And it also could have something to do with a Leo. And, you know, that you've been building strength and wrestling the lower parts of your nature as you integrate the higher vibrational influence you have going on. Isn't that funny? So the Three of Swords, grief. You could actually be walking quite gracefully through the grief process, the transformative process. People in your community may know of your disappointments and see you now, regardless of what ended in the past, you know, as being successful. Okay, so in the past, oh, no, this card belongs here, because you have become self-sufficient in spite of the grief. King of Wands, you know, you've really fired up the masculine side. Remember, Mars is your ruler too. So it's not just Pluto. So the Mars influence behind Scorpio has you in a really good place, you know, of taking charge and taking action where it's needed. So let's see the Death card. Yeah. Something ended and spun you out. It's like you were going along, and then boom. Gee, I wonder what happened. And now you're just kind of like, okay, so what are my options now? Right? So what is this Three of Pentacles at the top of your reading about? Yeah, it's about work. It's about communications. You could be doing stuff online. Yeah, that, you know, it's like regardless of how much pain you're going through, you're still working, you know. There's grief, there's betrayal, but you're cleaning it up. You may have some confrontations too, around work, maybe with a fire sign. Or it's kind of like, you know, in the work, a confrontation occurs that actually opens the floodgate and makes things move forward, right? Because that seems to be a big message for most of the signs, is that, you know, there's something coming. February 17th is probably going to be the day when we're all dealing with a lot of stuff. But it's like kind of like once that little mini explosion happens, then everybody can charge forward. Yeah, but there are still some defeats with regards to the family and feeling alone and like nothing's moving. So we've got the Five of Swords, the Hermit, and the Knight of Pentacles. So there's no movement. There's no movement with the family, Scorpio. just yet. Let's see how that works out. But this is exactly, you know, what has you in this hermit state. You know, that's bringing this out in you. So let's put some cards on this Hierophant and see what that's all about. King of Swords. So you could have an air sign around you, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. Maybe you already got that Aquarius friend. And, you know, it's strong. There's definitely a strong clarity of mind and spirit going on here. It's like you've got the spiritual and the intellectual stuff covered on your evolution. But something tells me that your full empowerment has something to do with the heart. You know, because the foundation is your broken heart. So let's get another card on that Hierophant and the King of Swords. Yeah. You know, this is when we're listening to the still small voice within. Yeah. So a lot of meditations on disappointments with family, you know, families of the past, family of the present, and, you know, family of the future for you is definitely a juggling act. The effort to stay out of drama is clear, and to stay in that mature, spiritual, and, you know, healthily detached space. You know, I don't see a lot of emotions out of control in this scenario. It's all very much underneath the surface of things. So let's take a look at the Three of Wands. And it's the Three of Pentacles. So, you know, if you've got new people in your life, or new people that you're working with, and, you know, with the ability to work online, you could be connecting with people remotely for your work. And it seems to be working out pretty good. You know, there's some teamwork. 3 and 3, 3, 3, 3. Maybe you're seeing 3, 3, 3 a lot. You know. Let's see what else we've got on that. Okay, well, I saw some. So Queen of Wands. You know, you may be working with more women at this time. Because you've turned your back on the drama. You've left it behind. You got lots to offer. You know, it's like you turned your back on the past with love as opposed to with anger. Hope that makes sense. Yeah. And you're being really graceful about it. Okay. So, and, you know, you're gonna move forward with humility. You know, if things can't be resolved, you're resolved and ready for when others are ready to participate. So the Ace of Wands. New passionate beginning. But it's like you haven't come out with it yet. You know? It's like you're still marinating before you reveal all of your plans just yet. Because you're mulling them over. I mean, you know, this is a lot to sort through. Like, what are my options? I don't know. I just know that this is part of what I'm working on with this channel, is I'm trying something new, you know, and I don't want it to be a burden. And neither do you, Scorpio, right? It's like, You know, these new beginnings, change, change, change. Not feeling ready to necessarily walk out of the cave just yet. And, you know, after this past year, who could blame you? So here we go. The Four of Cups, which is the last card of the reading, has been clarified by what? Could it be the fear? The thing that you're afraid of most? So you're going to light the match. You're going to take action. And you may doubt yourself. And you likely will come in contact with the last bits of any sort of toxic thinking that has been holding you back from making fresh starts. You know, it's like one last look. And then you're off. Oops. And then, oh, no, this one. So this is where it ends. It's like you get complete and total clarity on all the toxic elements in your life, and you're able to start your new beginning. You're able to light the match. Ooh, maybe that's what I'll call this one. It's time to light the match and be seen, Scorpio. And, you know, allow the fire of your passions light the way for others. Because that just might be what you came here to do. So, Scorpio, that was pretty fun, I gotta say. I'm going to push these cards to the side and grab my Oracle of E. I can't wait. This is my favorite Oracle deck. Yeah, let's see what the Oracle of E. Don't be flying all over the place. I don't know. You know, I see the other card readers do that with, they fly out all over the place. That drives me nuts. I just want to see the ones just pop out, you know, from the deck. I don't want them flying all over the room. Okay, so there we go. Oh, yeah. Smooth and easy, Scorpio. Smooth and easy. So you've likely had to adopt this kind of attitude about a lot of things over the last little while. Keep it going. Keep it going. And just because, you know, yeah. And maybe there's some things in your life that deserve this. You know, if it's not bringing you joy, Scorpio, you gotta let it go. It's going to be good for you. And, you know, if you take the time to really go within and reestablish that conversation with the divine, it's going to help you find your way. And, you know, on top of that, grab yourself, you know, the nearest Aquarius. All right, so I have this little experiment that I'm running because my Aquarian friend who is learning hypnosis, and she's fantastic at it. I'm using the Marshall McLuhan Distant Early Warning deck, a collector's piece for myself. And so I'm going to get one card, which I've already pulled for your universal experience. But I'm also going to pull a card for advice from your superconscious. So what's the highest part of you got to say towards your experience? Here's the energy around you. Aw, thanks, Marshall. The medium is the message, or the message, or the massage. McLuhan liked to play around with stuff like that. Okay, well, I like that one so far. Let's see what this one says. So, what is the advice from your superconscious, Scorpio? Okay, well, look at that. The ultimate embaumer, the peace that passeth all technology. Can you read that? There we go. Okay. So I'm not going to interpret these things too much for you. They're much better left for your interpretation. thank you once again, Scorpio, for joining me. Right after this, I've got a preview for my extended readings over at Patreon. The link is down below. For a small subscription fee, you get access to your extended readings as well as the extended readings for all the signs, even going back into last year. And it's always helpful to look at these readings to get a perspective sometimes as to the organic process that we're all going through, as opposed to the accelerated media environment that Marshall McLuhan has warned us about. So, you've got your extended reading previews right after this. After the extended reading previews is a new project that I have started, and that is a little web show called Boneco and Friends. And that's where me and my friends get together. We talk about nerdy stuff, about the brain, history, all that kind of thing, and holistic health. So please check those things out. I'll be bringing you shows on Sundays. The first one this Sunday with my friend Marissa the Poet. We have a lovely conversation. Went back to earlier. So this is where it's safe for me with Mercury retrograde. It's because I took old stuff and made it new. Mercury retrograde loves that kind of jazz. So so if you like what you see here, please share, like, and subscribe. And yeah, I'll be around. So take care of yourself, Scorpio. Really, really good. And hang in there, man. Seriously. Because if you can hang in there, the rewards are going to be big. So take care of you. See you again. You're coming to terms with your truth, and that's what you're healing. Your perceptions around relationship, and also learning, you know, that your you know, intimate space, that your intimate emotional space, you know, is sacred and requires some, you know, pretty significant boundaries, and you're not just going to give the key to that space inside of you to anyone. Yeah. But whatever the circumstances are, somebody's been really smart about everything, and even though there may be a long road ahead, this is ultimately going to work out in terms of happiness and security for everyone. So this particular period of time where things may be uncertain, it won't be for much longer. Things will become very definitive very soon. So Scorpio, I was going to end it off, but how could I forget Marshall? Marshall McLuhan, my fairy godmother. He, brilliant man, brilliant thinker. He died back in 1979. But his thoughts on media and its effect on all of us have been revolutionary for me in my understanding of myself and healing in general. So so stay tuned with me as I introduce you to more of his thoughts. So he created this this playing card deck back in '69, and it was intended for guys in the boardroom to use it like a tarot card deck when the brainstorming session came up dry. So Scorpio, here is your dew line, distant early warning card.
Uncle Bob, Robert Anton Wilson, a contemporary to Timothy Leary.
Marshall's like, amen, sister. Amen.
Right?